Now I'm going to do a whirlwind tour of the garden. I'm not going to describe the flowers, I'm just simply going to tell you where I am in the garden. So I just thought I'd give you a quick look around, see what's happening very quickly and just describe where we are. So this is the nursery area. And this is looking good. It's growing well. Plums are doing okay. I keep picking them. This one isn't my favourite plum, but it's doing very, very well indeed. Trying to find a nice plum while we walk around. Oh, terrible, that one. These ones are better, in my opinion. They're not quite ready yet, but they are getting there. Oh, that one is. Very sweet indeed. Very nice. Anyway, so we're nearly at the point where we're going to put the path in. That will go in. So that's the Calamagrostis border, or the Cal Forster border. The long border, or part of the long border, looking great, with the floating deck. So that's looking nice. And then today I've cut back the hedge again, third time this year, because, as I say, I have 1 or 2 garden clubs visit it, and it does grow quite big this side, and this is an access path, so we need to keep it open. The cloister pergola is looking particularly good. As you can see, the polo looks great. Just waiting for all the plants to grow all over it at the moment. That won't be too long, won't be too far away. So it's looking good, quite happy with that. The growth is away on it. Then we come up to this. This was built through winter, if you remember. The wildlife dip pools. As I've said before, we've had a tawny owl bathing in that, caught on camera at night. It's quite nice. Then we look at the long border. That section there's the long border. And as we approach, we can turn right and we can look into the cloister pergola. And that's a really nice view with that rose growing up there. All the plants are doing well. Everything's doing well. Some of my late season perennials are away. The grasses are away. Doing really nice. And as we turn back right again, we'll look at the wildlife dip pools from this area. And that's nice. Then we look up towards Cathy's Arbour seat up there. We'll go and have a look at that in a minute. We've done a little bit of reshaping on here. It's not perfect yet, but we're getting there with that. And then we look down here. We'll look down there to the shack. One of the first big projects that I did here. And it's got a decking on it, and it's also got the boardwalk. So to the right, we have the owl border, so named because of the owl. As you can see, sat on the top of that post. And then we have the boardwalk border, which is that there. And that's looking nice. We've got some great growth now. Everything's away. Everything's doing well. A lot of people's gardens will have gone over because they grow too many early season plants and don't plan for this time of year. But I plan for this time of year. That's why we've got so many wonderful plants in here. So we get a nice view of the shack from here, as you can see. Nice view of it through some of the plants, and I plant to sort of disguise it a little bit, give it interest. We'll put this kind of thing down, as you know, to create borders. And then I'm walking down the side of the boardwalk border. And again, back up to Grassy Bottom itself. The 1933 Art Deco. Well, it's called a chalet bungalow because it has 2 bedrooms in that roof structure. And then we get to look down there. And that's a long path that's kept for maintenance and to view the borders from the back. So that's good as well. Everything's doing well. Nice view from here. Lovely. Love it there. So we're at the back of the shack here, waiting for things to grow, waiting for that bamboo to get a bit taller, which will then disguise that tin there, which I don't really want it to disguise it, but it is part of it. So over time it'll look great. And we walk around here and we get this great view up the garden. And that is wonderful. And then the side of the shack. And I created this. I built all the shack myself, so I'm quite pleased with it. And I wanted to give it lots of interest, which I've done. I think it needs a little bit touching up on some areas with the paint, get that paint on there again. You get a great view of the decking from here as well. So if we go up onto the deck, we get this view. And it's a good view to have. We've got some mature shrubs, trees going on here, looking good. Some bamboo, looking good. So everything's looking good. And then if we come off the decking, we come to this section. So let's take a walk backwards on this one. So this path leads us down to the nook, formerly the secret garden. And that looks good. Got one or two little wacky structures here. Loads of reclaimed sandstone, as you can see. I need to top that path up. And then we go into the nook. And we get this exposed to us, which is lovely. It's so peaceful in here, so nice. Everything's doing so well in here. Again, I need to top up the bark. It's a little bit sparse, as you can see from the membrane underneath there. But we'll get some. We'll get there with it. And then we hope that this ivy will cover completely this, which is going to look good. But until it does, it looks great. That's a great look. And we get this view when we sit in here. So we get a little bit of cover from this. This is the Anderson Arbor shelter seat. And it's very nice. I love it. We've now got the planting going. That particular euphorbia. Maybe remember I had it planted in one of the sheep bale feeders and decided it was too invasive and I didn't want it, or very successful. Didn't want it in there, so we moved it. We've put it here, some of it, and it's doing well. Again, not going to name it for you. Needless to say, it is doing well. So everything looks good from here. This is quite nice. And then we can look across the garden down to the cloister pergola there in the background. We can look right through there and we catch sight of all these little different bits and bobs, which are quite nice. And we go through back out of the nook and then up here. Eventually this will have another walkway through, as I've mentioned many times. That will happen. It will happen this winter at some point. And then we get a great view of Cathy's Arbour Seat here. That's been a real nice success, that. It's lovely. And then the steps up. And then here we go. This is the view. And that's really nice, that. I really do like this, and it's a lovely view from within. So just another place to sit down and while away the hours. It's really nice. So we get to look back at Grassy Bottom from here. And it's nice. It's nice. It's a nice, peaceful area. And if you sat here when people come down the driveway, they don't know you're here. It's great. Love it. And then we get that view. Looking through the camera, it's not as good as the real view when you're looking at it. Nevertheless, it's quite nice. And those paths really tell a story, really. You just want to go down there and walk around there to see what's going on. And we'll come back to this area here, which is the shaded border. Although not that shaded. And it's shaded by this tree, hence the shaded border. So the shade only goes halfway up this border. And it turns into a sunny border. That's why that Nyphophia looks so good. That's great. And this is what I now call the gravel pergola border. And then this is the gravel area, the gravel garden. Looking really nice. And at night time we have lights that light up. People keep asking me to do a nighttime one, but I can't really, no point, 'cause you can't see anything except a few little fairy lights. So there's no point, really. And that's the nice view we get. And then that's the driveway up there. I've tried to create a nice driveway with some nice plants. And then if we stand back here, we get this lovely view over the gravel area. Again, time, just take time to place things. And that's looking really nice. That's a great view over there. I love it. I sit there quite a lot actually there, drinking my tea. And we've got these new features in. This cow feeder now has some lavenders in. Again, not going to tell you what it is because this is not what this video is about, but let's pull a couple of weeds while we're here, as I always do. And then from here, we get to look down what I call the east steps. So we get to look at these really nice steps. They really are nice, these steps. One of the nicest things about the garden is these steps, and they sweep back. In fact, let's take a look from down here. So they sweep quite a way back. They're quite nice. And it's quite a wide set of steps, and I've used it to put more pots in there. You never have enough plants. So more pots on there. And this area which we worked on this year with a complementary sweeping brush. I tend to keep that sweeping brush there because I'm always kicking gravel all over and I'd like to sweep it back off. So that's looking really nice. And then the French doors that we put in early in the season, and then the floating deck is there. So from here, we'll do a sweep round to show you where we've just been. And this is the garden in its entirety for this side. And it's really nice. And we walk up here, we get all these views. It's really nice. We're very, very fortunate to live here. But it's been a lot of hard work for me to create the garden, but I'm very, very pleased with it. For those that have joined me on the journey, hope you've enjoyed it. It is not yet over. Lots more to do. And we'll end it where we started. Right here in the nursery beds, where I keep a lot of my overspilled stock and stuff where I sell when I have people visiting. I try and sell them 1 or 2 plants. So there you go. There you go. Grassy bottom on a flying tour. Okay, I'll talk to you on the next one. Ta-da.